we had a question recently on our website where somebody wanted to know if they should be sleeping around after their divorce. So to answer this particular question, it's about understanding what is the need that sleeping around fulfills on after a divorce. If it's something that you would say helps you avoid your emotions, then I would say that sleeping around is a coping mechanism for you to feel better. And what you need to be checking is whether that is a short-term emotion avoidance tactic that makes you feel better in the short term, but actually undermines your needs overall. So if your real need overall is to be in a relationship and kind of like find a healthy partnership following your divorce, check with yourself whether the short-term activity that you're doing is undermining that long-term objective, or is it actually getting you along that journey in the first place? Now, for some people, sleeping around after the divorce does help them feel better. And as long as it doesn't undermine other needs overall, there isn't an issue with sleeping around. You have to consider your health, you have to consider your safety, you have to consider, how you see yourself, whether it abides with your own code, yes or no. If you're cool with all of that, there's no issue doing it from a safety perspective. If you're not cool with it and you're actually doing it despite your code, despite your own principles with yourself, you have to check in, what need is it addressing? Does it make you emotionally avoid kind of feeling or dealing with something in the short term? Does it fulfill a need of specialness or feeling connected to somebody? Does it help mediate loneliness? And if so, does it actually help overall? Some clients that I've had that slept around after their divorce, it actually made them feel worse, right? So they would have the short-term need met, so they'd feel okay for a few hours, and then the next day when the person wouldn't call back, or it would undermine their overall meaning or mission to connect with somebody long-term in a relationship, they would just feel rubbish. They would feel they kind of sold out on themselves or compromised their principles in some way. So it's a very personal kind of decision at the end of the day. What I would say is, if you're weighing it up, is to look at, what are my objectives overall? If I'm over here and this is where I want to get to, is this coping mechanism healthy for me in the long term? Does this coping mechanism meet needs only in the short term, or does it also meet needs in the long term? Does it get me closer to where it is that I want to get to? If so, no problem with any of this. If, however, you find that it undermines other needs, it compromises who you are for yourself, it kind of violates some of your principles that you have in yourself, you need to then check yourself and check whether this is the best coping mechanism for you in your life. I wouldn't get into too much of a moral dilemma with things. Moral dilemmas produce a lot of shame for us. I think if you do have religious beliefs, then that's really, really a principle of yours, and that's your choice whether you stick to that, yes or no. But a moral kind of standing where you are really hardcore with yourself from a moral perspective, it can cause more shame, and going through a divorce is already shame enough as it stands. Keep it simple. Keep it about whether this is meeting short-term needs, long-term needs, meeting needs now, undermining other needs, violating your principles, not violating your principles. Take a look at the landscape and then just choose. And be willing to accept the consequences, whatever it is that they are. That's the unfortunate part of adulting, is we have to accept the consequences of whatever it is that we're doing, and understand that we are making choices in everyday life. So if you have a situation like that and you're in a tight spot and you want to review that with somebody, book a clarity call with somebody on my team and we can take a look at your moral challenge with you. Take care.